Yeah. You ain't gotta cry no more. I promise that I got you and that's on my soul. Double checking for the weakest, man, that's all I know. I remember bagging up at that corner store, but now we blowing smoke. And that's all I know. Yeah, at that PLO.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Top BUXAPLENTY here, checking in with the BUXAPLENTY gang, bringing you guys another reaction. And this one I feel like I can relate to because I live in New York and I know how it is to drive throughout the whole entire New York. And I feel like depending on which borough you in, it has its own difficulty. And y'all probably like, what you mean? So like when you're in Staten Island, we don't have that much structures to everything. It's more like space. So it's like, it's easy level, you know? It's easy level driving in Staten Island. Then when you start going to Manhattan, Harlem, that's when it gets like expert level. When you're in Brooklyn, it's like a little medium, and the Bronx is like hard. And if you know, if you're driving around the whole entire New York. But we have the worst drivers of New York. I drive every day, even as a job, so I understand what they go through, and I see it every time. Like, I've been in car accidents, not even my fault, but just of the crazy thing that be happening. So we about to get straight into this video. Like I said, the video is worst drivers of New York City, and we about to see what's going on. We about to see who's actually in fault and who's the dumb driver. So let's get into the video right now.
Here on Wham Bam Dashcam, we've shown you over 1,000 dashcam videos sent in by our fans, and we serve up 20 new ones every week. Today we're showcasing some of the craziest clips we've ever featured, so buckle up for Wham Bam Dashcam's Worst Drivers of New York, Volume 1.
I ain't gonna lie, this is New York. This is not only New York City, but when it comes down to the best drivers, other than the people out the other country that be wilding with the foreigners and stuff, we really got it in New York. Like, y'all cannot cut up through traffic like us. And FDR is one of the, y'all could probably look it up. FDR is probably one of the worst highways on America. If you could cut up on that, you know you lit. Let's get into this video.
Ben was driving in New York City when he noticed an NYPD
vehicle
driving along with no lights on. As Ben began passing the police car, the officer made a sudden U-turn without signaling, plowing into Ben's Lexus before immediately activating the car's emergency lighting.
Now, first of all, how the cop is going to turn his flash on after the car just hit him? Who's at fault? Obviously the cop. And that tells you alone that if a cop doing it, imagine what the regular civilians be doing. Nobody out here can drive correctly for some reason.
Notice that the cop car had no lights on at all.
Now, the thing is, that cop actually did have his lights on. I don't know why the back lights is not on, but when you see that cop do turn, his front lights are on, but it's kind of weird of how he just made that sudden change. He's probably trying to go catch up to somebody. You know, cops be fiending. They be doing the sneakiest thing to try to pull you over. He's probably worrying about the car that turned. He was trying to pull somebody over for sure. He was trying to pull somebody
Before
over
the brakes were applied, which illuminated the brake lights, then it turned with still no headlights, turn signals, or emergency lights active.
Oh,
it wasn't until
after the impact
that the officer activated the emergency lights. But Ben told us they said in their official report that the emergency lights were already active and that Ben had failed to yield.
Wow, you see what NYPD do? This is why you need a dash cam, because even NYPD would do that. And one thing about NYPD, if you get into an accident or they crash you, they not paying for it. So no matter if they crash you or not, your insurance gonna have to deal with it, and your insurance might be going up. In New York City, your insurance is gonna be skyrocketing.
PD sent Ben a bill for $14,000 US to repair their police car. After he sent them a copy of his dashcam footage, they backed off before covering Ben's $7,500 repair bill.
That's crazy.
If not for the video, Ben would have been on the hook for both repair bills. If that doesn't convince you to get a dashcam, I don't know what will. Check the description for our recommendations.
I ain't gonna lie, Dev got a dashcam front and back. I don't play that.
Nick was heading to the mall when he watched the driver of a black SUV run a red light and get struck by another SUV.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, that right there is a common thing in New York. Like, even if the light turned yellow, but that only happens when like somebody's blocking you and going mad slow and trying to make you hit that red light. You still gonna speed past it. But if you know you're not gonna make it, like that car was going extra slow. If he was speeding, it would have probably been okay. He wasn't even speeding, he was driving normal. He still decided to go past. And that's why when you at a green light, you make sure that you just don't instantly just fly straight out. You make sure you just stop a little bit. Let the light be green. People gonna be beeping at you. That's one thing about New York. They instantly beep at you, but just let the light be green. Make sure there's no cars coming, then you just proceed to do whatever you want.
SUV struck the Toyota's rear tire, spinning it around and sending it dangerously close to Nick's Honda Civic. The SUV...
Cause right there, like, I ain't gonna lie, nah, sometimes there's really nothing you could do, but if he was actually aware, he could have avoided that, but at the same time, it's like, sometimes it just happens too fast. Like, we just watching it through a camera, but when it's actually you and the roll and everything, it's faster. You know what I mean? Like, everything just be happening fast. But then you know how you just sit back and be like, yo, I could have did this, I could have did that.
He then rolled into a red SUV that was stopped on the other side of the intersection.
That's Syracuse for you.
Thankfully, nobody was hurt in the collision. All the involved drivers were thankful for copies of Nick's dashcam footage, but the police told him they'd captured the incident with their own camera on a nearby power pole. They weren't interested in...
Look at the structure and how weak these cars are. Like, they like plastic. Soon as you touch any little thing, your car is done
Nick's
for.
dashcam.
Look how bad that guy's car is messed up.
Footage,
they wasn't even driving that fast. My fault for keep pausing it, but they wasn't even driving that fast.
They thanked him for offering it and told him about other incidents where dashcam footage had completely changed the outcome of a collision investigation.
And he hit the red car too.
Lewis was driving home with his dad for his sister's college graduation. When he noticed a cop car up ahead, he changed lanes to give it more room. He then kept driving for a while before noticing an SUV with a very poorly secured mattress strapped to the roof. It didn't take long for him to find out that the cop had noticed it too.
That's nothing new.
Yeah, that mattress looks like it was a mile or two from taking flight. Hopefully some instant justice prevented some instant regret.
I'm not gonna lie, like, when you coming from New York City and you driving towards Albany, this is a common thing. Like, I done seen somebody pulling the trailer and the trailer tire was blowing out. Like, he was just mad tire, like little things of the tire were just flying everywhere. It was like smoking everywhere. This is something normal and common. You just stay out their way and make sure you don't follow behind them.
This submitter was driving down the I-495 service road when the driver of a BMW pulled out from an access road, colliding with his Toyota Prius. Our submitter tried to avoid contact, but the front bumper of the BMW scraped down the side of his Prius in spite of his efforts. Both drivers stopped to exchange information. Thankfully, there was no underlying damage to our submitter's car, so the repair estimate is somewhere between $1,500 and...
Like, can she not see? First of all, she got a whole kid in the back. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I got into a car accident recently because of something like that. Person ran a stop sign, they had their whole kid inside the car. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, first of all, you're supposed to be on P at all times, but then you got your kid in the back, and you still running stop signs? And it was a BMW too that got into the accident with too. It's always a BMW out here. I don't know what's going on, but they really need to start taking some people's BMWs, just the way how Ferrari would do it, and BMW needs to start doing the same thing.
$2,000 US. He didn't tell us how much it would cost the other driver to fix her BMW.
Trust me, that's bread.
Fedora was leaving a friend's house when he approached what he calls an infamous four-way stop. After waiting for his turn, he proceeded through the intersection before a car ran the stop sign right in front of him.
No, that's perfect. No, that's perfect. Oh. See, I thought it was that other car. I thought they was about to complain about that. He's wilding. Like, what made him think he could go? Can he not see the sign?
After managing to avoid a collision with that stop sign runner, another driver ran the same...
That first car was not a stop sign runner. It seems like both of them was already there. The one car went and this one just went a little bit slower. Sometimes, like, even if, like, you see a car going, it's not smart to do that, but if you see a car already in your direction going that direction, sometimes people might run it, you know, just eager up because it was the other car time to go, so it's okay with that. But the last one, he wowed. I don't know what he's thinking.
And he hit her instead. Thankfully, nobody was injured, and both vehicles remained drivable. Fedora credits our channel with convincing him to buy the dashcam that saved him from being cited for running a stop sign. He said, "Buy a dashcam. It'll be the best $60 you'll ever spend."
Facts.
This submitter was driving his Toyota Tacoma when he pulled up to a red light. Another driver decided he didn't want to wait and used a creative maneuver to get through.
He probably going, I already knew.
The Toyota driver split lanes before running the red light and driving off. I guess that's one way to beat traffic.
He still made it, hey. As long as nobody died.
The Spar was waiting in a left turn lane when a driver from the right turned too tightly and nearly ran directly into his VW Jetta.
Oh. Nah, that's wild.
Gaspar honked and the driver slammed on her brakes before turning and going around him.
It's always a girl. I ain't gonna lie, New York City girls cannot drive. Like, it's like 3% of females in New York City that could drive. I ain't gonna lie.
Gaspar just continued on his way to work.
And that 3% be wild.
David was headed home from work in an area he describes as notoriously filled with taxi drivers thanks to arriving cruise ships.
Now, like I said, when you in Manhattan, it's expert difficulty, and you about to see why it's expert difficulty.
Watch what happened when a driver ahead of him changed lanes to go around traffic.
Always a taxi. Like I said, they don't care if they will be on that turning left lane. They will see somebody that need a taxi and cut that whole thing with all that traffic. They don't care who they hit. As long as, you feel me, they still gonna make it. Or if they not gonna make it, they gonna hit you. And you still gonna be the one that insurance, you gonna get in trouble. I don't know, it's weird about New York City when it comes down to taxi drivers.
When the driver of a VW SUV dodged around other traffic, a taxi driver didn't see them coming and turned into them. David stopped and gave a copy of his dashcam footage to the driver of the SUV.
I promise you, that taxi driver seen him coming. They just feel like they have the right of way. Like I said, they will cut from the left all the way to the right. It could be 4 to 5 lanes. They're gonna do it. And they feel like they're entitled and you have to stop for them. It'd be mad weird.
Ronaldo was on his way to pick up his girlfriend from work when he encountered this week's Tesla behaving badly. By the way, you may have noticed we don't have a Tesla behaving badly in every episode. That's only because we need our viewers to keep sending them in. Okay, let's roll the jingle and watch this Tesla driver ignore the road markings.
Alright, he's on right only, but he gonna go straight. You already, that's something that you encounter in New York City.
Ronaldo slammed on the brakes and honked to avoid a collision. He's just glad he was paying attention.
Fact. That's all you gotta do in New York City, just pay attention.
Rob was headed to a store with his wife. As he took to the right lane to get around slower traffic, a pickup hauling a trailer in the left lane suddenly turned across Rob's lane.
Oh, he just macked him.
The pickup driver didn't signal or check his blind spot before attempting to turn right from the left lane. Thankfully, a police officer in an unmarked SUV saw the collision and followed both drivers into a nearby parking lot. The pickup driver was cited and his insurance provider paid $7,000 to repair Rob's F-150 Platinum after he sent them his dashcam footage.
See, I ain't gonna lie. He got blessed by that cop being in, because cops don't do police reports, so he got blessed by that cop being in. But he had the dash cam anyway.
Chris was heading to cross the border into Canada when he encountered another driver who'd evidently decided to stay in the United States.
Oh, he's driving the wrong way. That's on the highway too.
On the highway.
Do you not see every car going the opposite way? You don't even see signs your way, and that's crazy. That's very dangerous.
Oops. Chris wonders if the guy missed the big bright wrong way signs and asked us if they needed to be bigger and or redder.
I'm weak.
This submitter was on his way home. While driving down a highway, another driver suddenly dove into his lane, and he told us he stopped breathing when this happened.
He stopped breathing? Oh, he's trying to take the exit or something? What's wrong with him?
Our submitter pointed out that the other vehicle only had a temporary license plate,
that seemed like
and
New
he
York
also
City.
said, "Thank God nothing happened." Label had parked his Honda Odyssey outside of a school where he was attending an event. While he was gone, the driver of a van backed into his vehicle and damaged the front bumper cover and driver's fender. The impact
that gotta be Brooklyn. That gotta be Brooklyn.
Activated his dashcam's parking mode, which recorded the other vehicle.
That's Brooklyn. That's the Jewish school right there. I've been there 1,000 times. That's Ocean Parkway. I know it by heart.
Thankfully, the driver stuck around to give Label his insurance information. The van driver's insurance provider paid about $3,600 to repair Label's bumper cover and fender.
That's crazy.
This submitter was driving along when he encountered an SUV backing up down the Palisades Interstate Parkway.
He backing up? I ain't gonna lie, that's normal. If you miss your stop, some people gonna do whatever. Some people might cut through the grass if they run into it. Some people just gonna keep going and bust that U-turn. But sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, when you miss a stop, your whole GPS gonna say you had 20 minutes. That drink gonna go from 20 minutes to an hour. So I feel him.
Honked and flashed his lights in an attempt to warn the driver of the SUV, but I'm guessing they knew exactly what they were doing and were just trying to reach the exit they just passed.
Yeah, that's it.
Our submitter noted the SUV already had rear end damage and theorized this might be attributable to the driver's lack of driving skills.
True.
Shia was driving down a ramp leading from one highway to another.
Woodbury, it's dark over
Suddenly,
there.
he encountered a wrong-way driver coming straight toward him.
Nah, not on the turn. Nah, what? What was he doing? Like, at first, like I said, you see traffic going one way. What makes you go the opposite way? Like, I'm so confused, and there's really nothing you could do about that. Like, you could not even dodge that. It's dark.
Shia swerved into the other lane without having time to see if it was clear. Miraculously, he made it through the mayhem without a scratch. He called
that truck got so much money, he probably got a lawsuit.
911, but couldn't stop because he had a car full of passengers.
Probably an Uber driver.
Jensen and his brother were on their way home after a long day of delivering packages
This
when they
at
suddenly
New York City. Let me
encountered
see.
3 police cars chasing a vehicle with a broken headlight.
This is Brooklyn. Brooklyn. You can already tell. Nah, that's
Jensen
probably
told
not
us
Brooklyn.
they were
Let me see.
tired and just wanted to go home, so they kept going. He also wanted to tell our viewers to stay safe out there.
I don't know, that could either be the Bronx or Brooklyn, but I ain't gonna lie, you ain't, like, at nighttime, I say around, like, 10, 11, 12. If you go to Brooklyn, you're gonna see cars getting chased by cops all day. Like, I done seen it 1,000 times already.
Jason was driving in Brooklyn when the driver of an SUV turned onto the same street, then started making a U-turn directly in front of him. Jason honked and swerved into oncoming lanes to avoid a collision by inches. He told us
This is what I mean by, like, Brooklyn is a medium level drive, because, like, it be smooth and calm, but people's retarded, so that's what makes it a medium.
the other driver just continued like nothing had happened. Thankfully, he didn't find any damage when he stopped to check.
Good. You're lucky.
This submitter has a 4-way dash cam installed in his Toyota Camry. It was parked at a gas station when it captured a 3-vehicle collision happen in a nearby intersection.
Oh, y'all see it on the right? What the heck? Who ran a stop sign? You see the crossing guard?
A van driver ran a red light before colliding with 2 other vehicles.
Oh, he wowed
Our
it.
submitter told us first responders took 30 minutes to arrive. He wanted to
Normal.
shout out his brother. He owns a Model 3, and they watch Wham Bam Tesla Cam and Wham Bam Dash Cam together. Don't forget Wham Bam Security Cam, guys. This submitter spotted this week's Tesla behaving badly, who experienced some instant justice after rolling through not 1, but 2 stop signs.
Manhattan right here. I would just over here too. Look, that's a cop behind him. Told you. This is what I be meaning. Like, people with cars like BMWs, foreign cars in general, Teslas, they just be feeling so entitled. It don't make sense.
Our submitter kept driving after the hidden police officer pulled over the Tesla driver. He said, always come to a complete stop at a stop sign.
Especially
you
in New
never
York City.
know who's watching. This submitter was driving along when he was passed by multiple drivers, evidently racing one another. Suddenly, a 3rd vehicle went flying past him before spinning out of control.
He caught it though. He caught it though. He a nice driver. I ain't gonna lie. Like, yeah, he spent out whatever. Boom. He got a red rear driving car. Like, first of all, that's why I don't like Hellcats and all of them. They fast and everything, but they really not made for cutting up, because once you turn the steering wheel too much, it's automatically gonna spin out. But he still caught it and didn't crash. He got it.
Somehow, the driver of the Dodge Charger managed to avoid hitting anything and end up pointing the right way down an exit ramp in spite of their lack of driving skills.
He got it.
Our submitter wanted to shout out his friend Sal, who introduced him to Wham Bam Dash Cam.
It's really not lack of driving skills, to be honest. Like, I agree with what they're saying, but the reason why I feel like it's not lack of driving skills is because stuff happens, but he still caught it. Anybody else that didn't know how to drive would have instantly crashed into that metal pole or something, a rail or something.
What a legend.
He nice though.
Nick's Acura MDX was totaled after colliding with a car while moving at only 13 miles per hour.
Boom. Ooh.
He was in a straight-only lane when the driver of an oncoming Honda Civic cut through traffic and collided with Nick's front wheel. The impact bent the control arms and prevented the Acura from moving. Sadly,
why do they have lights under their car? Like, this is not the car that you put lights under. People be doing the dumbest stuff to cars.
That's not the end of the story. The Honda driver immediately blamed Nick for the collision, and when Nick said he was going to notify the police, the Honda driver said he was late for work and fled the scene.
Nah, what? How he fled? First of all, he left. How he leave his license plate? That's one. And the cop was right there. He should have been flagged.
The Civic's license plate fell off and was left behind, making it easy for the cops to look up the driver's insurance info. His insurance provider took full responsibility and totaled Nick's SUV. Here's where the story takes a positive turn. When the insurance company sent Nick a check for the value of his vehicle, which they let him keep, Nick used the money to repair it. He sent us some photos of it after he'd fixed it. Nick doesn't know if the police ever tracked the Civic driver down, but either way, he's glad his MDX is back on the road.
He out of there. They don't care.
Simon drives this one-way road all the time and knew he was going the right way when another driver started heading toward him.
That's Brooklyn.
Even though Simon flashed his high beams and turned on his hazard lights to signal the other driver, they didn't seem to get the message, so he pulled off the road to let them pass.
I ain't gonna lie. You cannot tell me you never drove down the wrong way of a one-way. Everybody done did that. I don't know, but I done did that a couple of times. It's just so you can get to your point fast. It's dumb, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Simon says he saw the other driver turn down another street in his rearview mirror before he continued on his way home.
That's what makes you a New Yorker. When you do dumb stuff.
Mayer was driving his GMC Acadia when a taxi pulled out in front of him.
Oh, good save. For both, well, not both of them, but one of them.
Mayer honked and swerved while slamming on the brakes. After the taxi driver had gotten out of the way, he continued to his destination.
I ain't gonna lie, that driver better than me because I would have still probably went around at fast speeds.
Kyle watched two Hondas make contact when one turned into the road without checking for traffic and sideswiped the other.
Boom.
Kyle told us neither driver appeared to stop, so he thinks they might have not known they'd made contact, as everyone continued.
That's a common thing in New York too. Let me tell y'all something. When people crash, they will look at each other and they'll keep it pushing because that's either most likely they don't have insurance, and this is Brooklyn. So that's something common in Brooklyn too. A lot of people don't have insurance, and when y'all crash, it's like, we ain't about to call the cops. We both out. So just keep it pushing.
On with their day. And yes, that's a Honda, not a Prius. Don't at me, bro. Thomas was leaving his neighborhood when he watched a pickup pulling a trailer come to a sudden stop, sending the drawers of a toolbox and all the tools inside crashing onto the ground.
Oh, wow.
The toolbox actually tipped completely over and fell out of the trailer, spraying tools all over the place on its way down.
I know.
Needless to say, the pickup driver was not happy about what had happened.
That's alright though, you feel me? Like, at least he ain't crashed or anything. He should have kind of knew, like, yo, I got a turn coming up. Let me slow down a little bit earlier. But yeah, he just gonna have to pick it up. That's his problem.
Thomas believes he has pinpointed the problem. He told us that the pickup driver clearly forgot to slap it twice and say that's not going anywhere.
It'd be alright though. He just gotta pick that up. But I hope you like this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn that post notification bell on to never miss a video. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all want me to react to next. You know, I definitely have to do this because, like I said, I drive in New York City every day and I see how it is. And I just wanted to see it from myself through a video perspective. And everything that we done just seen here, I see it every day. Literally at least more than 10 times per day. If not, then it's probably like 30 times per day. But this is nothing normal. Like I said, this is regular New York. And when you drive to New York, they say if you know how to drive in New York, you know how to drive anywhere. So just let that be known. But that was the end of the video. Y'all be safe out there on that road because it ain't really a game. This ain't no toy. This ain't no game. Like I said, but that was the end of the video. Peace out.